Welcome to this next video in the strategic scenarios series. In this small video, I'll be talking about the vision. The vision, as you can see, the small icon here at the top, is at the end and is inside the strategic scenarios. So from a strategic scenario, the vision is encapsulated within it, and that's the starting point for this here. And by the way, the book over on my side here is where I'm getting a lot of the inspiration for this small video, so go check that out as well. But if we start with the corporate vision, the corporate vision is a future goal which is realistic, plausible, and desirable. I'll get a little bit more into what that means in reality, but in essence, it needs to be something that we can see ourselves in, and therefore, it will create the direction for the company, meaning that people will be working towards the same goals, towards the same end purpose. Everything cannot be described, everything cannot be organized, everything cannot be managed. Therefore, there will always be decisions that your employees will need to make, which you haven't told them about. You need them to be able to make the right decisions so that the company moves forward in the right way. That's why we create a vision. And well, that's also why the requirements that I have here states at the top one that it needs a broad ownership in the organization. The ownership means that all the people within, or most of the people, needs to own the vision, needs to want the vision, needs to be able to see themselves within the vision moving forward. However, it is the top management which owns the vision, meaning they are the one who are responsible for the development, or at least the formulation of the vision, and they are the ones who are responsible for the implementation of the vision. This top management ownership is a key starting point, and it's also where we have the considerations regarding the scope. And scope in this relation means, is it a scope which covers just the department, project, company, over until covering the entire world, or at least the industry that you're operating within? Another consideration that needs to be done earlier on is time frame. Kind of like I spoke about in the strategic scenarios, where we talked about the return on invest and how to capture the value. The time frame for the vision is even further, but it's still a place we want to go and which is realistic moving forward. This also leads to the purpose of the vision, and not just the vision statement as it's often referred to in lecture books. We are taking a broader view, the vision story here. The purpose is that it should bridge to the future environment. So where are we now? What's our reason to exist now? And what is the future that we see and perceive, and where is our place within that future? The vision is the bridge, is how we will interact, how we will see ourselves moving into that. It's also about corporate alignment as we move forward, that the different initiatives that we're placing focus on within the company, they are aligned towards the vision. The roadmap video will get a lot more into that part. Empowerment is also what I'm talking about when I'm talking about this alignment. People will not always be able to do things, but or know what to do. The vision should give them that direction. but the empowerment will also give them the confidence to do this. They know which direction that we're supposed to be moving. So if they are taking initiatives that moves us toward that, they have the power to do it. Be aware, however, that this empowerment can also backfire, and therefore remember the ownership is still with the top management. They need to monitor things so that the empowerment does not take over and people take initiatives which they think will lead towards the vision, but in a localized setting and therefore hurting the globalized setting. So the department does not do anything which hurts the company vision. How do we then create this vision? Well, it starts with strategic conversation about the horizon and the scope, as I mentioned before. This horizon and scope is the starting point, and you can involve everyone in your organization in this discussion. This discussion is the basis for the belief in it, the taking ownership by the employees. This is partly a bottom-up approach, but it could also be a top-down approach, meaning that the bottom-up is where the top management gathers the beliefs, the ideas, the drive towards a point from the staff on the ground, whereas the top-down approach is the management who sees the vision. It often is said as, no, we should not have top-down if you're not at the top level. The reason why it sometimes and needs to be, or quite often actually needs to be included as well, is that the top-down approach covers the entire organization. It's only at the top you have the full scope of knowledge, or at least have access to the full scope of knowledge. The sales department has one view of things, the production department has a different, the marketing has a third, and so forth. When you then create your vision story, you need to evaluate it on several parameters. The inclusiveness. Does people see themselves in it? Is the story internally consistent? Are the different elements working towards the same goal? Is it attractive? Is it something that people will actually like, is interested in being part of? What is the level of stretch? Is it something that we actually need to work for? Or is it something that we can lean back and say, this is good, we'll get there with no additional effort? And lastly, but not least, is it inspirational? Think back at the Martin Luther King speech, I have a dream. That has been inspirational for many Black and minorities across the world for the years since that. Because it was inspirational, it drives action, it drives positive action. So to sum it up, I have this small triangle here next to me that you can use. True, good, and beautiful. How well does the vision score on these parameters? True means, is it credible and coherent? The top one. Is it beautiful, aesthetic, and attractive? Is it something that is possible to reach? And is it good? Is it ethical, inclusive, and meaningful? Is it somewhere where you would actually like to get a job? Is it somewhere that you would have people aspiring to be part of, aspiring to drive towards this vision? Thank you for watching this additional video on vision parameter in our strategic scenarios. See you in the next one. Bye.